Hi everyone.
Hi guys.
We're back again, and this is exciting because we're talking about one of our favourite houses of all time.
I've taken my towel for this because
I mean he's
really good
excited.
flexibility. Yeah,
you've got to be able to move.
Yeah.
So I mean, of course, you'll know already from that little description, and also from the what's up there or down there, that this is Guerlain, which is a huge favourite.
The video we've been talking about doing for a while. We're just going to chat about Guerlain.
Yeah, which is a dream, really. It's a luxury to be able to do this. And we've got them all lined up in front of us here.
I've had a few conversations with people, and people say, so is Guerlain, is it designer or niche? Because, you know, they only really make fragrances, although they do make makeup. I think you've kind of got designer, niche, and Guerlain.
Yeah, absolutely. They're a level apart, aren't they, really?
Yeah.
They started the thing off in the first place.
Yes.
The modern day perfume, didn't they? So.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, right, let's just kind of get stuck in and kind of talk.
We've lined them up in sort of, not alphabetical, chronological.
So we don't start, we haven't started, so they started in 1825?
Yes.
Yeah.
With like colognes and
so
rose water.
There are fragrances earlier. So I mean, there's Imperial Cologne, which is still in mass production, but that's not where we're starting in terms of our our style collection. We're starting towards the end of the 19th century, 1889.
Very recent, really.
The wonderful Jicky, which still feels so modern, so elegant.
It stands head and shoulders above so much stuff today.
I mean, we could talk a lot in this video about reformulations, and people will lament the way these fragrances have been reformulated, and of course this Eau de Parfum bottle does not smell exactly the same as an 1889 bottle, but for me it still transports me to that world, and for me it still smells amazing. It's a lavender fragrance, but it's so beautiful, it's so sexy. It's got this is, you know, one of the most kind of Guerlain-y fragrances, I would think. This is
their eponymous, not eponymous, the wrong word, but this is the signature of the time,
and it's just got that DNA, that tonka bean and Provençal herbs.
It's absolutely stunning, and it just takes you back, as it does, over 100 years to a different time.
So this is by Aimé Guerlain,
beautifully dandified as well.
Which is the kind of, he's the third, isn't he? He's the kind of third generation of the Guerlain family.
Yes.
Aimé Guerlain, and I think it's. The kind of rumour has it that he had a lover called Jacqueline who was studying in London, and so was kind of away from him, and he had this sense of longing for her, and so created this fragrance in memory of her, and it has got a real feeling of longing and a tremendous feeling of sensuality.
It's a very sexual fragrance, isn't it?
I've also got a little X-ray bottle. So this is a modern. You can see it's one of their X-testers, and it's.
Interesting, actually, with these X-rays as well, is that for something that's already pretty intense, the X-rays don't make them bigger; they make them somehow more concentrated,
thicker. I feel this is thicker.
It's not just Jicky intense. You know?
This is just a little bit dirtier as well.
Yeah,
that's what we should say.
More of that civet aspect.
With a lot of these Guerlain fragrances, you get this dirty, animalic, sensual punk. Made you sneeze. It's so.
This is the thing. This is the kind of perfume that makes me sneeze, because it's just so much going on. My nose goes berserk. I
mean, this is still, you know, it's very incredibly close to this. There's just a little bit more thickness and just a little bit more funk.
This invites me a little bit more. This makes me sort of bury my nose in the
EDP
in my lady.
I mean, and you know, and God knows this is a shadow of what it was. And
I can't imagine what turn of the century I really smell like, but. I'm happy if this is a good approximation.
It's still so beautiful, and it's still, I guess it's kind of branded as a feminine fragrance, but it's completely masculine. It's definitely masculine enough for me. Great for a really smart suit or a black tie, a great black tie fragrance.
Absolutely. I get a little aspect of like slightly burnt rubber as well, or something. Just a little bit.
Maybe a little bit.
Really good.
It's just definitely a bit filthy in this.
I mean, we're not exaggerating here. I know perhaps I'm prone to exaggerate. This is one of the great masterpieces of perfumery, isn't it? I mean, several of these masterpieces of perfumery.
You know, there are so many. Like obviously a lot of our reviews, the new things, the latest things which has come out, the really expensive fragrances, but these are really hold their own against all of them. And they're ones where whenever we come back to them, we think it's just better than everything. This next one is definitely. So we're moving on 16 years to 1905. I don't know if I could say this is my favourite. This is one of my favourites. It's certainly one of the ones I wear the most. It's Mouchoir de Monsieur, gentleman's handkerchief. This is real turn of the century, dandified.
It's very dandified.
Elegance. And I think I've said to you before that I work quite a lot in the Ritz Hotel in London, singing there, and that opened its doors in 1906. And I really love to think that a year after this was released, people were walking into the Ritz as it opens its doors for the first time, smelling like this. And this is a fragrance
I would be willing to guarantee good money that people would have been wearing this. The latest great thing from
it's
Paris.
So classy, and we've just. You can definitely see it as a relation to Jicky. I think
it's huge as well, isn't it?
It's just a little. It's a little bit sharper, and actually the civet comes across as a little bit more prominent and a little bit more edgy. Maybe you could say pissy.
Yeah, it's a slightly more pissy, and the lavender is slightly more opulent in this as well.
And the lavender is a little bit sharper as well. It's a little bit edgier.
If you were going to prescribe something more for a guy than a girl, you'd say Mouchoir would be it. Although of course we don't subscribe to that.
It's so sexy and it's so enveloping, and it just smells. It smells so expensive. It smells. You know, given the price you can buy, even if you walk into a department store, you can pick this up for what, 70 quid, £75. It smells. You know, like it should be a Creed kind of price.
It's way more worth way more than that.
Yeah,
for sure.
And again, I'm sure this is a shadow of its former glory, but even as it is, it's really special.
It's beautiful.
It's really special.
And again, it has the DNA of Guerlain.
Absolutely.
Which we'll talk about as we get through these.
You know, all the way through this century of Guerlain. Amazing, amazing. Let's now walk.
This is a very, very special.
This is really, really beautiful. This is Apres after the rain. So a slight departure from the last two fragrances. That this is all about blue floral.
And this is 2 years later.
Yeah. This
1906.
I did a post of this on Instagram, and I said it smells a bit like Mouchoir by Debussy.
Yeah. Boom, 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 boom. Very beautiful.
This is one.
Very sad.
Yeah, it smells like melancholy.
Oh.
It smells so thoughtful, and although it's a floral fragrance, it's not a big burst of exciting florals. It is, you know, it's after the rain. It's the end of the day.
Oh, it's so beautiful. It is like a teardrop captured in time, isn't it? I know that sounds a bit wanky, but
it feels so introspective. Like, you know, if you're one of these kind of people that thinks, I don't want to shout about the fragrance. I want to feel I'm slightly introverted and I wear it for me, and I want something thoughtful as opposed to screechy. This is it. It's kind of
it's very lonely somehow.
Intellectual.
Yeah.
It feels complex, and it says a lot without ever shouting it.
And it's got that wonderful nuttiness as well with the florals, which it's sort of creamy at the same time, quite stark.
There's something almost uplifting about this. Almost, not quite. Like there's something invigorating. The last time I wore it was on a really hot day. Really
How did
hot.
it do?
Really brilliant. I actually found it quite uplifting. As opposed to, it wasn't a cold, rainy day. It was really bright, really hot, slightly humid, and.
But you could wear that any time, I think, and it would just be magical.
I also get that Palmer Violet.
Yeah, absolutely,
massively. Oh, it's so special, so beautiful.
And again, important to say at this juncture, bearing in mind how old this is, I don't find that it smells that dated.
No, not at all.
It smells like it's from another time, but it doesn't smell dated. It's not the kind of thing I would smell and go, oh, that's not quite for me.
Amazing. So let's skip forwards. We write down these dates here. Let's skip forward 6 years to 1912. We're still, pre First World War. To
so the year of the Titanic, of course.
Yeah. So they probably wore this.
Someone may have been. In fact, there may be a bottle at the bottom of the ocean.
Yeah, in the shipwreck of the Titanic. This is Bleue. This is the EDP. Again, it's a modern version.
This is absolutely staggering.
It's interesting because we had Jicky and Mouchoir de Monsieur, which are obvious relations. These are two more, which are definite relations.
Yeah.
Apres and Bleue.
I love the continuity that they've got going there as well.
Yeah.
There's sort of nods to each other. without being outright copies.
So this is another kind of blue floral, but whereas Apres feels quite melancholic and introverted, this feels much more extrovert.
Yeah.
This is glamour, this is mink coat, this is cocktails in the Ritz or something like that, really elegant, high society.
And this is slightly more gourmand as well.
A little bit, yeah.
It's got a little bit more like buttery pastry.
Yeah, that kind of almondy thing.
Yeah.
A little bit.
Which again I associate with this later stage of Guerlain.
Yeah.
It starts to go into the almondy, slightly edible.
And it's still got that that tonkery Provençal herb kind of heart running all the way through it.
So what gives it balance as well. It's the fact that it never veers too much in either direction. It's got the brightness of the herbs. But then it has the creaminess and it has this slightly edible base. So it feels like everything is in perfect balance, which is the key to any great art.
Again as well.
Yeah.
Heliotrope.
Yes.
Yeah. I think this has got heliotrope, which
does Apres.
Yeah. I feel the heliotrope is more prominent in this.
Yeah.
Again, it's
slightly ramped up, isn't it? Still that hint of melancholy going on there.
Yeah.
It's bigger. It's like saying it's okay to be sad in front of other people.
Amazing.
Rather than just on your own reading poetry.
Right. Next.
Now, maybe this is the masterpiece of all so far. Do you think? Am I exaggerating?
I don't know. It's difficult. It's down to a matter of opinion. But this is an absolute benchmark chypre. Some say
this could be the one.
Some quote other friends, but this is Mitsouko. I've got the EDP here. I've also got a little EDT one. So what year is this? We've written this down. This is 1919. Oak moss.
This is a very special fragrance.
God, whenever I come back, I wear this, and whenever I come back to it, I know this is modern formulation, but what surprised me about it is how modern it feels.
Totally, yeah.
It doesn't feel like an old woman fragrance.
Not in the slightest. Because it's so full and bursting with personality.
Absolutely, loads of life, loads of energy. It's really quite energetic, considering you think it's all about the base and the oak moss. There's a lot.
It's a very dynamic sort of fragrance, and I think at the same time it's the kind of thing where you can tell you're going to need to settle in for a bit of a long haul.
Yeah. Oh yeah. This is a real.
This doesn't give much away in the beginning in terms of what you're going to get in 12 hours time.
We haven't really said that much, but that is one of the big things about Guerlain, I feel, is that they really take you on a journey. And I've read accounts of 100 years ago in the Guerlain shops, if you were buying a fragrance, you would sit there, you'd spray it, then they would put on a pot of coffee, you'd drink the coffee, you'd be there for an hour or so and see how it develops on your wrist. So it's
perfect.
It's not like going through an airport today when you have a sales assistant going, spray this, buy this, this is our most popular fragrance, buy it.
And 15 minutes later on the plane, you smell like it's shit.
And that's one of the things which excites me about Guerlain. I really feel like I'm transported back to that world where it was all about quality and elegance and
absolutely.
Really, like these are special occasions.
That's the thing. Fragrance back then wasn't an everyday thing that you would you'd throw something on from your bathroom cabinet and off you go. These were sensual things. They were an extension of who you were.
But all these, these are all Jacques Guerlain, Mouchoir de Monsieur, Apres, Bleue, and Mitsouko. They're all Jacques Guerlain. Arguably the greatest perfumer that ever lived. Yeah. It's difficult.
Well, there's that guy that did Sauvage. Don't forget him. No, I'm sorry, I'm being a bitch. But this is too special to be able to.
And also, I think the other thing why we keep coming back to this is we're both musicians, and as musicians, you're often performing new works, or someone's giving you a new composition, and you're approaching new works, and you're trying to approach them with a fresh view. But in order to understand how classical music works, if you're going to be a composer or a performer, you need to understand the classics. You need to understand Bach. You need to look at Mozart. You need to work on Verdi. And I think it's the same as in our kind of fragrance journey. We want to come back to these and see how it was done. And I know maybe we're having there are other houses like Coty and there are other great significant fragrances of the 20th century. And there are things like Grossmith as well.
Yes, we love Grossmith. Actually, we're big fans. We need to explore them more.
Right, the next one. Is a very special one.
It's masterpiece after masterpiece here, isn't it?
Yeah, we keep saying, "Oh, this is the one." This is the one.
The reference for the Oriental.
Yeah, the kind of benchmark. Now, I've only got two of my. I've got the Eau de Toilette of Shalimar, the EDP of Shalimar. What I didn't bring,
the best one of all,
is possibly the very best one of all, which is my 1978 X-Ray bottle, which is very. I mean, let's smell the EDP.
I've been lucky enough to smell it, and it's really wonderful.
But yeah, it's the Oriental kind of Oriental.
And can I give a shout out here? Is that inappropriate?
Yeah, shout away.
Hello, Holly. Huge fan, a friend of mine, a huge fan of Shalimar. Oh. This stuff here is great, the EDP and the vintage, which hopefully you'll smell sometime. But we love it just as much as you, so hi.
Just a beautiful, I mean, I never think I'm in love with vanilla, but this is just a kind of boozy, oriental, spicy vanilla that's, in a way, incredibly simple, but...
It's so opulent though, isn't it?
It's so opulent, and this is just the EDP, and there's just a little bit of filth going on there as well. There's a little bit of human, animalic warmth.
Should we talk about the undercarriage thing? Is it?
Yeah, so we're still in the territory of Jacques Guerlain, and I think there's a quote of him that says, "There's something in all my fragrances which have the quality of the was it underparts?
The undercarriage.
The undercarriage of my mistress."
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and I think all of that has this slight slept-in bed sheets, slight underwear quality.
Yeah, just. Those real things that people don't talk about in day-to-day life, but is actually the reality of sort of sensuality and all that stuff. That stuff, like I know.
Just that little chapter we've gone through.
I mean, absolute glorious things.
We haven't. Obviously, this is not encyclopedic. We don't
There's loads more, isn't there?
We don't have Ordinary.
No.
Which is a big galbanum.
I've got Samsara, but it's not actually in my place. It's in my dad's place, which is another masterpiece for sandalwood. But I mean, there are loads and loads of things.
But let's keep going.
So why the big gap now, do you think? Because there is a big gap here, isn't there? And I don't think it's just our collection. I think, in terms of their real masterpieces, we have got a slight gap.
I don't know. So we are now moving on to Jean-Paul Guerlain.
Yeah.
And what year is this? We've written it down here. We are to 1961.
Because there's not been a huge amount in the preceding 30 years, I don't think.
No.
Not huge amounts of classics.
This is Vetiver. So we're now on to these out-and-out men's fragrances. And this is, the benchmark.
Yeah.
It's interesting watching Fragmental's channel, Chris. He's recently been getting into his Guerlains. And this is one of them that he absolutely loves. And, hopefully that will help reiterate to you that even though it's a 1965 fragrance, it feels utterly modern and invigorating and refreshing. Vetiver and tobacco, there's a good dose of bergamot, but it smells classy, it's a really sharp, tailored suit, it's absolute elegance.
I have to say, I mean, not just on this smelling now, but knowing this fragrance, I think that could possibly be a contender for greatest masculine fragrance of all time. Because it's so simple and clean, and in a way, it's kind of like anti-perfume. It's just the smell of well-groomed man.
It is. And also, the other thing is, this is just an EDT, I think, but the performance of this on me is amazing.
This is the vintage bottle as well, isn't it? So
yeah, I don't know how it gets.
Does that make a difference, do you think?
Possibly. I mean, I've got a newer bottle. I've got one of those tall bottles, which is it's a little bit brighter, almost a bit limey in the opening. But once you get past the opening, I feel the kind of DNA is the same.
Yeah.
Again,
it's great stuff, isn't it?
It could get a bit boring to say, but I'm sure if we had older versions of this, we would notice a difference. But that was Vetiver.
But it's beautiful, and it's clean and sharp, and does what you want it to do on the tin, as they say.
Next.
Then this is
another great. So what year are we on to now? We're on
65?
to 1965. This is one that for me, as I started getting into fragrance, my first Guerlain was Mouchoir de Monsieur, because I was so attracted about being transported to this period over 100. Well, at the time it was about 100 years ago.
Yeah.
The next one that I bought was this next one.
This is great stuff.
And I think I'm now on my second or third bottle of Abbey Rouge EDT. And one of the things that attracted me to it was that I've never really liked citrus.
Yeah.
Because I find it can come off as smells like toilet cleaner, can be a bit shallow. Whereas this is a citrus which has such depth and such complexity. It smells so classy. There is
bursting with life.
Yeah, there's orange and lemon in the opening. So much carnation and leather, so many florals, it's so complex.
Do you know that gets better and better as well in the bottle, doesn't it?
Yeah,
it just
really
gets so much more rich and full of depth.
It smells like it should cost so much more.
And in a way, the structure is quite simple. It is these wonderful, well done citruses, and like really good quality citruses.
But I still.
But then with this leather vanilla.
I still feel a relation to Jicky as well, with that herby
yeah,
taco
absolutely.
base.
I mean, clearly in a line from.
So you've also got Jicky. This is your bottle of. This is the EDP version, and this is one with quite a lot of these. I do notice a bit of a difference. I feel that the EDP is thicker and creamier.
And pronounces the leather slightly more over the brightness.
Immediately, I felt I've gone to something a bit rounder and richer.
Yeah.
If I were to go for seasons, I think I might wear the EDT in the summer a bit more.
Yeah. My preference, I have to say, the more I smell them, is for the EDT.
Yeah, I do.
Because it's already got the richness.
I think it's also with the EDT. I feel it lasts so well, and the performance is so good.
Yeah, do you need?
I don't need anything better performing, and I feel that I'm just aware of a little bit more going on in the EDT.
Yeah.
I feel it's a little bit more transparent, but sometimes people want something thicker. I don't know. There's still a merit to having both, I think.
Yeah, and they're so cheap. I mean, like 30 quid. This is the other thing we've not really talked about at all. But none of these fragrances are crazy expensive at all. I mean, they kind of retail about £70, but they're so available. You can get websites that sell, like you can buy Shalimar for 30 quid on All Beauty.
Yeah.
Abbey Rouge.
Right, let's skip to what you're on. So we're skipping 20 years.
85. There we go.
This is exciting.
This is old.
This is of the bottles. As I say, I do own a 1978 Shalimar, but of the bottles we've got here, this is the oldest one. This is Derby, the original Derby from. It was released in 1985, but
this is from 1987. This very bottle here.
Yeah.
So 2 years into the life of the perfume.
Just being slightly careful with it. Slightly careful. So here we go. Beautiful.
Isn't that cute?
Beautiful stuff. Do you mind if I use some of your precious
This stuff took ages to come from Italy, but it was worth it. And when I first sprayed it, it didn't smell of anything at all, and I thought, it's spoiled. And then I sprayed some down the sink.
This is, this is almost the, not archetypal, but it's almost the pinnacle of kind of 80s leathery fougere.
And instantly recognisable Guerlain as well, I think.
Yeah, definitely it's got that kind of like herby quality to it as well, which does make it stand out from all those other simple, more straightforward, oak mossy, barbershoppy fougères. This is more complex. And I
mean, it has changed in the bottle, I'm sure, over that time, but still so recognisably Guerlain, and still beautiful and rounded.
Yeah, it's amazing. And the other day I met up with Greggy Boy and Mr. Smelly and Sentient Man Raj to smell some, like Greg had a load of samples for us to smell, some new things, some old things, and the standout was his vintage Derby. So actually, while we're on this, let's also talk about
because this is inspired by, isn't it? Yeah, well, I first of all bought this bottle of Derby, which is the more recent iteration from 2012. Yeah, I mean, it's beautiful stuff. I think if you do a side by side,
I mean, it's currently available, which is
you can buy this stuff.
You can't buy the old.
But sadly, this is now like £180, which I think
is
bonkers. When this thing came out, it was the same line as Abbey Rouge and all those guys.
It's much more aldehyde-y.
Yeah.
What is weird, if I were to describe it in a simple way, this smells more old-fashioned than that.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Because of the aldehydes, it makes me think of the old world fragrance, whereas Derby feels more like a power kind of leather thing. Yeah. And there's, just the leather feels thicker and more tanned.
Everything's more developed. I mean, look at the colour difference as well. I know it shouldn't all be about that.
But yeah.
So there's old, there's new. Different sizes as well, of course.
Let's move on to another one, which I know it's boring.
Some gems here, then.
Yeah. So we're now into the 90s, 92. This is a really great one.
Yeah.
This is Heritage, which is the EDT bottle. This is, we talked in a recent video about office fragrances.
Yes.
This is a brilliant.
You'd wear this every day of the week to the office, wouldn't you?
This is so class, and you can feel the kind of. It's so interesting. You can feel it going into that 90s territory with the juniper note.
Yeah.
Which you end up having a lot of. Oh, it's
beautiful,
so beautiful. Again, what makes it stand out from a lot of 90s men's fragrances is that Guerlain DNA, that herbaceous, complex, tonkery heart.
And just the sheer quality of it as well. You can tell straight away that it's just well done, good quality ingredients. And creamy sandalwood holding it all together.
It smells just so elegant. You can still get it. I've still never tried the EDP version, actually.
I've got it, and I keep needing to bring it. Again, it's in Earl's Court. But I think the EDT, I like the Abbey Rouge, I think the EDT for me has more to say.
Yeah, and it just has that, that luminous kind of transparency.
Yeah. It's really beautiful, isn't it?
And another one which, what's the best way to do this? If I'm going to get one of these sticks, which I wanted to try for ages, and I haven't actually got a full bottle, I've just got a little miniature.
But it's very cute, isn't it?
So this is from, what's the date? 1998. So, something happened.
In 1998?
Not in 1998, something happened in 1995.
Yes.
Actually, I'm just going to put it on skin. But before we talk about that, let's just smell this juice. Again, this has got a real 90s... It's got that kind of like cardamom-y, nutmeggy, spicy kind of... But it's just
good stuff, isn't it?
Kind of unfathomable they stopped producing this.
Have we said the name of this yet?
Coriolan.
Coriolan.
As in Coriolanus by Shakespeare.
Yeah.
It's supposed to be this kind of heroic, and it does feel, I guess, quite heroic.
Yeah.
It's a big... The opening's almost a little bit abrasive in that it almost feels like more of an 80s fragrance than the 90s. It's big, but I felt as it developed, it became really interesting and became quite floral, and there was actually a bit of lily, I think it's lily, or no, but I can't remember if it's lily or ylang ylang, but there's certainly some white floral in the mid, which stirred it from this big, bold, kind of almost hyper-manly opening to something which actually turned a bit more nuanced and, dare I say it,
there's definitely more going on there than at first.
Absolutely, even already, you can feel it opening up,
warming.
Yeah. With that kind of
absolutely
herbal complexity,
sharp, crisp opening, but with something behind as well, which I love that.
We have alluded to something bad happened.
Yeah, they were sold. Guerlain was sold to
in
LVMH, 1995.
Into this big pharmaceutical giant, and it's it's pretty clear that since then the company have changed. So they're no longer.
The ethos has gone, I think.
So Thierry Vasseur, who I'm sure is a really, really, really great perfumer, is now at the helm. It's no longer in the Guerlain family. And something else we've mentioned in one of our videos when we reviewed New York Intense, that Patricia de Nicolai is somebody who is a kind of a direct relation. She's granddaughter of.
Great-granddaughter
of Jean-Paul Guerlain.
Jean-Paul Guerlain, sorry.
And
she should be in line by all rights.
And the fragrances that she are making, New York Intense is a perfect example, feel quintessentially Guerlain. They've kind of got that Provençal herbal kind of heart.
You could stick that right in there around the same time as Derby, couldn't you? And you wouldn't blink. You wouldn't blink. The quality and the lineage.
So we've also got a few LVMH era things. One of the most popular ones is L'Instant de Guerlain Extrême pour Homme, Lidge. Kind of a chocolatey patchouli fragrance, which again it does maintain that Guerlain-y heart, I think. Kind of herbaceousness.
Yeah, it's still recognisably Guerlain, isn't it?
This is a really popular one. I haven't worn this for ages. Patchouli, chocolate, but it just doesn't excite me. It doesn't. The kind of smile that all the other fragrances bring to my.
It's really nice. And like perfectly pleasant. It's not generic.
No.
It's clearly good quality, but it's just not that wonderful.
Yeah.
It's not that staggering, I don't think, with this lineup to contend against.
And we've got one more, which I think is a good example of the modern Guerlain.
So there we are. L'Homme very pleasant again. And coming back to the office fragrances, I think you'd be very safe wearing something like that in the office. And it's from a good house, all the rest of it. But it's just not operating in the same territory as some of these other guys.
It's automatically steered me into airport fragrance territory.
Yeah, absolutely. the mainstream crowd pleasing.
As you just walk through a department store and there are lots of generic smells.
It smells of a perfume company that's lost its courage, doesn't it? In terms of, let's make stuff that's interesting and let's have something to say. Let's not just follow the crowd.
It feels a shame to kind of end on a sad note that we started this journey with something, you know, which we both think is really, really incredible, Jicky, and we've ended up with something which is fairly mediocre. And you see, you know, for instance, if you go onto a Fragrantica, I just went on Fragrantica recently to just check up some of the dates, and if you look at some of them, with just the endless flankers of Le Petit Robe Noir or Abbey Rouge dress code, you think like not really doing anything really special. And I wonder if they, with a big company like LVMH, when everything has to be focus grouped and, you know, passed, and has a big, very expensive advertising campaign behind them, will Guerlain ever do anything great again? And it also, lots of people, when I start raving to other fragrance about Guerlain, some people are really nonplussed because I think they view Guerlain as l'homme idéal and that sort of thing. I think, well, l'homme idéal, it's nice, but I don't see why you're getting so excited about it.
Yeah, absolutely.
There are some good things. Also mythique.
Yeah, I think some of the things in those lines are interesting. But again, I think they don't speak of the core of the house, because the core of the house should be its sort of its mainstream output. Yeah. Because once upon a time, that's what it was. Abbey Rouge, Vetiver, Mitsouko, they are the things that are the sort of the brand ambassadors. And they're the things. It's not those 160, 200 pound bottles.
They're the things which we fall in love with.
Yeah. We never fell in love with. I never fell in love with this version of Derby. I fell in love with the original version of Derby,
which fortunately you've got now.
Which now I've got again, which is great. But it's a shame if they go off the rails, I think. Yeah. Because they are, I'm still, for me, the best house that ever there was. Yeah. In terms of what they've done.
I think they're a special house. So let us know your feelings about the House Guerlain. Let us know what your favourites. I mean, obviously they've done. There are hundreds of fragrances really. We haven't included them all.
No, there's lots more.
We've obviously missed some obvious ones. Eau de Guerlain,
which is great.
Absolutely incredible. Volnary, amazing. Samsara.
Check them out if you've not already.
So let us know what your favourite Guerlain are, and tell us about and spread the love. We love you, Guerlain. Till next time.
Bye.
Happy sniffing.